And Ohio lawmakers are one step from getting cell phones out of the classroom. A bill is up for a final vote, and if it becomes law, schools would be required to have a policy limiting cell phones in schools. We're covering several different angles here tonight. Matt Rascone speaking with a local district on the phone plan that they're currently using for students. But first, Maureen Kyle with us as she talks one-on-one with Governor Mike DeWine about why he's made this a priority and what other states are doing. Hi, Maureen.
House Bill 250 is just one step away from the governor's desk. It passed the state Senate last week and is back in the House for a concurrent vote. If it passes, he's made it clear cracking down on phones in schools is a priority.
Every school needs to be on record, one way or the other, about what their policy is in regard to phones. I know that parents have a concern about being able to reach their children, but there's other ways during this school day for them to be able to reach their kids. But schools will be able to work this out.
Ohio is not the only state that is considering this or has legislation that has been proposed and is being talked about. Other states are also talking about, some sort of regulation within schools. Have you talked to any of the other governors in any of those states about what's on the table and what should be proposed?
Well, I think all the governors are certainly looking at this. There's been a handful of states that have actually banned them in school. Again, I think that we all see the impact of these smartphones and what they do. It's kind of interesting. Several teachers have told me, he said, when we actually banned them even during the lunch hour dramatically changed. Instead of kids looking down like this and on the phone their whole time they're eating lunch, they're actually talking to each other.
In this legislation, there are exceptions, like if it's needed for a certain class or a medical reason. Next week, we go in depth exploring the safety aspects of removing cell phones in schools and the mental health effects.
Maureen, thank you.
Also tonight, we're getting a look at one school district's policy that bans cell phone use in classrooms.
Matt Rascone continues our coverage with more from Parma City School District's superintendent.
When you talk about technology and schools, it's almost been the Wild West for some time period.
There's nothing new about technology in the classroom.
We all noticed the technology rapidly evolving and we wanted to try to embrace it.
But in recent years, what is new in some schools is the push to limit its use.
More often than not, what I hear from colleagues is that they're really frustrated.
Scott DeMauro, who represents thousands of teachers, says too often cell phones are a distraction and connected to bullying.
We've seen students setting up fights, recording fights.
Dr. Charles Smilek has seen the impact. He's the superintendent at the Parma City School District.
It got to the point where, we absolutely need to take those steps to regulate.
Starting this year, middle school students in the district aren't allowed to use cell phones at all in schools. High school students are banned from using phones in classrooms.
Just in terms of engagement and lack of distraction, it's been a positive.
For parents who are concerned about getting a hold of their child, Smilek says they've had to have conversations with some, but overall, he says parents have been supportive.
There is an old-fashioned way of getting in touch with your child, right? You call the office and leave a message for them. And
Smilek says they're trying to encourage responsible use, so they let students pull out their phones in between classes and during lunch. Overall, he's happy to see the state push for more limits.
I think it's going to be hard for a one-size-fits-all policy. I do think that districts should be able to make their own decisions, but at the same time, the state reinforcing an expectation that it's not in classrooms, that helps us all too.
And the president of the Ohio Education Association, who you also heard from, they represent thousands of teachers. And he told me that they have not taken a formal stance on the bill that's out there right now, but they do support putting limits on cell phone use at the district level. Russ and Christy.
Okay, Matt Rascone in the newsroom. Thank you.